everybody in YouTube land. We're over here at VHP. I had a couple people ask me about how to do springs. So here's a quick little video. We're going to use these strings here. These are Brian Tooley springs. They're for the stage 2 camshafts. We're going to be doing a cam swap on this motor here. It's a 6.0 LQ9. So we're going to upgrade from the stock to these aftermarket springs. They're a little bit taller, a little bit stronger to handle the bigger lift on the camshaft. So here we're going to show you this little handy little tool right here. You can get these little tools on Amazon. What it does is it comes in, you bolt it down, put this on. It compresses the springs down. You can get the keepers out and swap the springs out and then put it all back together. So we're going to show you how that works by going through here. You guys can see with me. Bear with me. We already did one set. We're on the second set now. So we're going to go put this in right here. Just thread it in. Come on. There we go. Start them off by your finger tight. Not finger tight, but start them off by turning them by fingers. Make sure they get into the threads correctly. Same thing with this side. Get a couple threads in and then set it so it's in the middle between the springs so it doesn't bind on the spring. So like that. And then you can kind of cheat. Don't torque these down with this. Just, you know, get it so you can tighten it down fairly quickly but not torque it down. They don't need to be torqued down because we're not doing anything special. Just a little snug. I know that little click is probably about 20 psi or so, so it's not super tight. Then what we're going to do is take this, put this on between the two springs. Make sure we're not blocking the keepers, because that's what we're going to be taking off. Start this also by hand. Use this little guy to help just cinch it down a little bit. Alrighty, and then do the rest by hand. Now, we got the cylinder leakage test gauge right here. We got it kind of turned up higher than what we normally would do when we're checking for leakage, because we want that air pressure to push up onto that. So we want it to push up on the valves to keep it so it's, you know, pressed all the way up and the springs don't push down, and the valves don't get pushed down when we're opening it up. Now we also want to make sure that the cylinder is on top dead center. So I need my little tool here. And we got the hose connected to it. So as soon as it stops making a little pss, pss sound, we know we're at top dead center. Right there, boom, we're at top dead center. Now we're gonna add this little thing here, connect it, and it's going to put air into the cylinder. Keep those valves pushed all the way up. There we go. We can also hear it barely even hissing, so we know we have a good compression on this motor. We know that it's not leaking from anywhere. If you start doing this and you hear it's leaking through the engine oil quite a bit, then the rings are bad. If it's leaking through the valve stems, then you know the valve seals and the valve guides are worn out and the valves need a valve job. So that can tell you also, you know, hey, it's leaking, where it's leaking from, and then you might have to address that. But for right now, we're just using it only to keep those valves open. And like I said, I had it up higher pressure than what we normally would do, just because we want to keep those valves open. So I got a gear ratchet here. So we'll go in here, tighten this up. Then you'll start to see this come down and those keepers opening up. I can already hear them popping. You can see how they're starting to open up. Now I can go in there and take my magnet and pull those keepers out. My magnet. Got my little magnet. And what we're going to do is just pull these keepers out. Oh, the battery must be dying on that. Anyway, so we've got the one keeper out. Trying to get the other keeper out. So a little bit more. Anyways, hopefully you guys can see okay. You got the keepers out on the one. Put it right here. Lose it. Get the other keepers out. Because you're doing 2 at a time with this tool. Some tools you only get 1 at a time. This one lets us cheat and do both at the same time. So we got both keepers. Now what we're going to do is slowly release it. And like I said, the valves are staying closed because we have air in the cylinder. And now we can loosen all this up. Loosen this up all the way. And then we can use the little impact to get the rest of the way off, because we can take off fairly quickly that way versus doing it this way all the way. Put on reverse. Come over here. And off we go. There we go. That's simple. Take it all off. Take this guy off. This will stay on because we're gonna still reuse it. And then we're gonna swap out this one with this one. Get a little oil on it. It's just a cheating way to do it. Get a little oil on that. And we're not using this one anymore. Throw that in there. We got a little bit of oil on here. Also, there's oil there. Also, the valve seal. I mean, it's kind of hard to see right now, but the valve seal is on there and it looks brand new, so we're good to go. This is a crate motor, so we're not worried about those valve seals being bad, but it's a good way to check them out and make sure. I'm gonna swap this out here, get this oil on there. Swap here. A lot of people don't do it this way. You don't have to do it that way, but it's a fast, quick, easy way to get oil onto this. There's also oil in that little valley, so you can just come in there and push it on. Now, it's kind of hard to see right now, but the valve springs are taller than the last set of valve springs. So when you put this back on, make sure you get it on top of there just right, so it's got both of them, and they're going to be both centered. So you don't want to push that spring down, because then all of a sudden you get a bunch of air leaking through it. So, real simple. This one I'm going to be a little more gentle. Tighten it all down with my finger. Take a little longer, but you know what? I want to make sure this is not going to push down on anything. Get everything lined up so it's straight. And then get my gear ratchet. And here we go. Make sure everything's good to go. Make sure everything is straightened up, so it's not going to compress that valve down. And there we go. Keep them going. You can see the tension building up on that spring. It'll take a little while, but we'll get there. Alright, now, right about there-ish, we're going to take the keepers and the retainers, and make sure big sides at the top, small sides at the bottom. Slide it in here. Hopefully they don't slip and fall out. It's a little hard to do without any light. Okay. Same thing with this one. There we go. Let's push this valve straight up a little bit. Go a little bit more. Just so I can get that in there. There we go. The other one will come up when I push down on it. When I release this, it'll come up and lock in, so don't worry about that. Now we're going to get the other keeper, my retainer, and put this up in here, and this one over here. Just make sure it doesn't pop out. a little more on and get that Q-tip. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to slowly start releasing. And it should bring that retainer right up. Oops. So moved on me. Oh, of course. Just did this a few seconds ago and that one worked just fine. But then we go to do this one and now they're moving. Get it. Just be very careful with your fingers. Don't. Nope, don't get that got on there. There we go. Now got it. There we go. Now it's got it. So that one's on all the way as well. Get my screwdriver that has a magnet. Okay, this little magnet here. There we go. Get this little magnet here. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. Now let's go the other way. There we go. Took a little bit, but we got it. Now you can see the gap closing up. And they're on evenly. You can see they're the same height, not different height, and they're closed fairly close to each other. So we know they're good. They're not going to pop off. Oh. And we'll just take all that apart and we're good to go. Do all the valve springs and then we can install the camshaft. So you guys have a good one. I hope you learned something. Sorry it took a little while, but we got it going. You're good to go. You have it.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.